fucking lawyer or other people. I don't think my future is entwined with anything to do with the human race. They use other language in this stream that really captivated me. They were like, blah 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 streamer. I was very oh no, he was. They said the last video. They said there was a very famous sports idol who ended up doing an anime, and this is something that's kind of like hot in the scene right now. And how they worded it was, isn't that guy basically impossible to reach, and how did they sign him? And I thought, that's it. I heard two really formative things tonight. I heard it's impossible to reach him, right? And I was like, yeah, that's me. Now that's probably a lot more common in the scene than I believe it is, but but I'm sure it's really common. No comments. VTubers don't want people looking at their face. Like they're talking about VTubers right now. I have a lot of sympathy for people like Nanners, because I understand that imposter syndrome. My best friend suffers from it so badly, and all the time I have to reinforce them and tell them how wonderful they are, and that they're really the best thing in my life, and that they are loved, and that their family wants them, and I want them in my life, and I need them. If they were to leave, I would soon follow, because they don't understand that they have a sense of self-worth a lot better than my generation does, but they don't believe that they deserve anything, which is something that I just can't really. I understand it, but I could never be like that. I do believe I deserve things. I've worked so hard in my life. I mean, it's not like it worked out that way. It just, God damn it, will you leave that, please? I would really like you to exit. Yeah, I would really like you to not do this, please. So, where am I now? I'm talking about, so I got my mind blown by bad, terrible front ends in Steam, like in every other piece of software that I use, where they just cash grabbed the money and ran with it. And so it matters to me that I make it, but how I do it, I think is kind of funny. I think, and I'll tell you what my strategy is right now. I'm going to put between probably more like 4 to 6 to 8 videos every day for the next 10 years. And at the end of it, I'll finally go approach somebody for either signing me, or they'll approach me or whatever. When they realize that I'm putting out an entire year of free content every fucking year, after a couple years, I'll open up my stream again or whatever, and I'll start talking to them. But I know right now that I don't want to deal with them. I don't want anything to have to do with the people. I don't want anything to have to do with the crowd. I don't want anything to have to do with the judgment. I don't think I play games that people like. I don't think I play games the way people like. I don't make commentary that people likes, and it's not like I have bad commentary or I'm bad at this. I just don't think it's stuff that's very, very readily, and it's one of the reasons why I don't turn on my mic much anymore. It's one of the reasons. There's many reasons, both health and otherwise, but one of the reasons I don't turn my mic on that much anymore, and I don't do fucking a lot of this talking and stuff, is because I don't think it's well received. I'm very aware that I think my best chance is just to shut the fuck up. I'm very aware of this. I talk too much. I've never had an opinion that I thought was I've always thought my opinions were the best and the most right in the room. I've always thought this, or I wouldn't have them. You know what I'm saying? It is very difficult to sway me. I'm sorry, it's not difficult to sway me, but if I believe something, it's not like I'm closed-minded and I won't switch in a second if I think your point is superior. I'm actually very good at that. I've had a lot of compliments about that lately. I will just abandon and take up your idea and run with it if I think it's better. I really will. I'm not married to my own convictions. I think convictions are relative, and I think having them are kind of dumb. I think it's good to have open mind all the time. So I'm not closed-minded to living the kind of life that these people are. But I don't intend to do it like them at all. And I don't want to be set aside because of this. I would be happy taking $25,000 to $40,000 a year and scratching out a living in a 700 square foot space like this. I don't care if my family dies. I don't care if no friends ever speak to me again. That was kind of what I thought would happen after all the ex-meth fucking problems and facing 2 years in the madhouse and losing all my jobs and losing all my friends and a man trying to attempt to murder me and all this shit and scaring the way I love my life and all this other stuff. I thought, if everybody in my life is gone, I'll have to do this by myself and help of my family. And my family was like, yeah, take our help, move here. We bought you, we helped you, you know, we bought the house for you. You saved the money, but we bought the house. We renovated it. We decorated it. We put it together for you. Just move out here. We believe in you. We don't think you should die on the streets and just give up on the human race. Because I was and still am using language like, I'm done with the fucking human race forever. And I actually was fundamentally aware of this day one when I was streaming. I was telling my friend Terra Firma, who came in my channel like the first or second day or something like that. I was like, I am done with the human race. I really love talking to you guys, and I love people, but I warned him a bunch of times. It's one of the reasons why a lot of them didn't come back. I am done with the fucking human race. I'm full-blown done with them. I don't care what they think. I don't care what they think about my work. I don't care if they pay me or not. I mean, I'll struggle, and I can make it whether or not they're there or not, and the only thing that could actively fuck me up is if they actively come fuck me up. I'm not fucking up on the law anymore. I'm not fucking up on my decisions anymore. I'm not fucking up on my execution anymore. I'm not fucking up on any of it. My security, I'm armed, you know, I don't, you know, I don't fuck around with security even anymore. I don't expect humans to not come around me and not rob me. I don't invite people in my life because I just assume they're gonna rob me or something like that because they're humans. They're just dirty little monkeys that are gonna fuck around. You know it. It is what it is, like Asmongold say. It is what it is. They're mentally ill monkeys and they'll fuck with you in any possible way that they can. I did not want to invite that into my life, which is one of the reasons why I'm so quote unquote exclusive right now. And I'll talk maybe 1 to 2 to maybe 4 times a night. And this is one of the 2 of the 2 to 4 times a night. Because I believe this silence is golden and less is more. And I think I talked too much for a year and a half and I think it scared everybody away. And I think my gameplay, while not good, is at least entertaining enough to keep people watching, you know? And I think I could build a career if I keep it simple. See, this guy, he's got $10 million. He's got $10 million. They probably signed him for 3. You know, he's probably got $10 million. I'd bet my life on it. He's been doing it for 7 years or something, 10, 12 years. Who the fuck knows what his history is? But this guy on the fucking screen has been doing this so long. I know he's got $10 million. I'm like fucking convinced of it, the way I believe the sun's going to rise tomorrow. Now, he might have spent all that, or he might be kind of careful, or he might be investing. We don't know what his life is, and I don't want to know. But I do believe that he reached what I would call success in the respect that he probably won't ever starve again, right? But he's been pariahed and fucked out and shit out by humans so badly in his whole fucking life, just like Asmongold and probably just like Amiru, that, like, honestly, none of them have any faith in this continuing on unless they secure it for themselves. They're very like-minded individuals, and I think like these people a lot too. I think I actually fit in with these people probably a lot better than a lot of the people they're trying to shop around them. And it's not like I'm trying to insert myself in their lives or even that I want to be around them. I don't. So, but I'm saying, like, we do share a lot in common. So he's gonna share his dream here, and I would have bet 100,000 fucking dollars just like an hour ago. I would have bet 100 if I had it. I would have bet 100 against Trainwrecks or somebody like that. I would have bet 100,000 fucking dollars that nobody in the world had the same dream as me. But nah, the way he talks, it's exactly the same dream, and I'm scared that it actually is the real streamer's dream. They don't care if the world falls apart. They know they can't work. They know they're probably autistic, most of them. Like, they're good, skilled artists and stuff. We're the new artists. We're like the new digital artists, and so, like, we're respected and loved sometimes, but mostly we're hated. And mostly it's just like a crapshoot against us. So now, like, it's not like I'm making these big numbers, or probably ever will make these big fucking numbers like them, but I'm not scared of making it. And the difference is, like, the difference is, like Asmongold, I think, probably has a dream of retiring in some big, retiring in like, I don't even know. I imagine the way he lives right now is probably how he'll die. And I think this guy is probably thinking the same thing. I think Amiru probably has greater dreams than that, but I think that they have been treated so badly by the fucking community for so fucking long for having a life dream of enjoying video games on a 14-hour a day level, whether you were going to let us do that or not. And I'll be the first one to fucking say it, right? I think my video ticked over, so this is a good time to talk. I think I've been talking for like 10 minutes. This is a good time to talk because I did tick the video over, and I'm gonna load the next one. I'm gonna load the next one up, and hopefully, people will look back and try to get the full conversation. You know what I'm saying? But Like, I never would have dreamed that after they have $10 million that they have the same dream as me, which is retiring to a one-bedroom place that they just can't take away from me because I don't trust them not to. I think they hate so much about what it is I chose to do with my life and how crazy I am and how intelligent I am, or anybody in that room, or any of this other stuff, that acceptance was just not on the fucking table for them from anybody else but their friends and their fellow streamers and their families. So they know better. They know better. They've got $10 million, but they know better. The humans will come and take that right the fuck away. They'll come take it. They'll cancel you. They'll snare it up in lawsuits or something like that. The humans will come and take that fucking money if they don't believe you deserve it. So all they're trying to do is live humble. Asmongold can't buy a new car. None of them can act like they're assholes. None of them can do anything like tacky with their lives at all. Like, honestly, I made the place that I live off the sweat of my own back and the help from the government. And like, I don't think anybody can ever come take this from me. I had it before I became a streamer. You know, unless I fuck up and threaten someone's life and go to jail or something like that, which I just won't do. I can promise you I'll just never do anything like that. I don't like talking shit in public anymore. It's just not something I'm very engaged in anymore, unless somebody's actively attacking me. I'm just not a troll anymore. I'll troll people when I think it's funny, but that's it. I'm just not a troll. I used to be the worst troll on the fucking planet. I could run a fucking string of fucking jail garbage that a crackhead would speak over World of Warcraft trade chat, trying to get people to uninstall their games just because they had just met me. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I used to be so good at it too. I can sniff out someone's weakness. I'm particularly smart when it comes to profiling. It's something it's a skill that I have that I would say would fit a detective pretty well, or like a Sherlock type, right? I can profile you off of the sentence that you just said, pick up the most sardonic, fucked up thing about it, twist it into some kind of crazy Tim and Eric-esque like random joke that's gonna make all the randos laugh at you, and then use it to make you actually want to uninstall because you said something negative to me. And also at the end of it, I'll say, keep your, and on top of it, I'll talk to you like a warlord would too. I'll be like, keep my fucking name out of your fucking mouth at the end of this, you bitch. Don't ever say my fucking name in public again. I used to say that all the time on World of Warcraft. I was like, don't at me, motherfucker. Don't you ever say my name in the fucking trade chat again. I'll straight rip their fucking head off. I've never met anybody as hard as me. Not any of these fucking waspy nerds or any of the fucking people on the streets I ever met. I've never met anybody as hard as me. It's kind of fucked up when nobody in your entire life, okay, you want to know an example? I've been thinking about this all night. I think about it every day. My family, not one of them, not one of my family ever sat down and ever looked at what I do for a living, ever. And I doubt they ever will. I don't think any of my friends will. I don't think any of my, maybe if I make it rich, they'll care because they care about money. I really believe that even my closest friends, I think kind of their money is, I think they would hate me for saying this, but I actually really do believe this. When I stopped talking to my friends, it's because none of them were struggling anymore. None of them. None of them were struggling. They all had 2 to 5 cars. They'd all been handed houses by their fucking parents. They were, and I'm not resentful of this. I'm just saying they were just not in the struggle anymore. And they kept talking like they were. But they're not. They're privileged fucking middle class with their own houses that they've got the papers for. At least 1, if not 2 to 5 cars, retirement plans, investments. Some of them are buying silver and stuff like this. They got kids. They're married and shit. And they just weren't in that struggle like I was. And I guarantee it, if I ever speak to my best friend again, I know what he'll ask. He'll be like, why have you not called me in fucking 5 years or something? I know what he'll ask. And I'll be like, dude, we just don't share the same world even anymore. We don't share the same world anymore. So hearing this guy spew something that I think my best friend would understand about me, I am trying to keep. It's been so bad, the rejection, when I went hard for this motherfucker across 20 different MMORPGs. I did it for Final Fantasy XIV. I did it for World of Warcraft. I did it for ESO. I really did it for Terra and got voted Primarch. I did it. I really did it for Rust. I've got 4,500 hours or something like that. I mean, that's not a lot in the scene, but I mean, it is for somebody who doesn't dedicate to one game. I've got so many other games under my fucking belt. In the end, I just can't relate to their sheltered middle class lifestyle without thinking I might have to stick a gun up in somebody's face sooner or later to even be able to keep what I have right now. I just don't understand it. Those kids have never had a gun leveled at them. They've never done a drug deal. They've never stolen from somebody. They've never had to do things to get by. They've never had to offer to do things to get by that they didn't want to do. They've never had to do things like at all. They just were privileged and I was not. You know, and it's weird because I actually had the most money out of all of them in the end. When I was young, we were richer than any of my friends. We were richer. By the time my mother lost it all in a recession, she lost her company because AT&T closed the contracts when the recession caused them to no longer be able to use her services as a private contractor. And she was the most well-trained tech training manual person that AT&T had ever employed, and she wrote all the manuals that trained the techies. So when she went out and struck up on her own, they were like, sure, here's $10 million, go right ahead. Make sure AT&T is better because of private contracting than us treating you like shit in-house. And I'd love to tell a story about this, but I'd rather she tell it. But she gave herself her own maternity leave, and I'll let her tell that story, but I'm just going to say that sentence. My mother gave herself her own maternity leave and then let herself have a furlough and let herself retire out of AT&T, and then became one of their main clients. And this is how business works, you know. So, but she lost all that when AT&T couldn't afford to keep her as a client anymore because of the recession and shit. And she lost everything. She had 2 mental breakdowns and all this stuff. And that's her business. I'd rather her talk about that than me. But I'm just saying, there was a period in my life when I was 10 years old when we had 7 cars, a mansion. My school was $300,000 a year. Seriously, it was the most elite fucking school on the East Coast. Seriously, my mother was living high on the hog, and she got. I'm just gonna leave it there. So and I have experienced more money than my friends have, you know, just not experienced it, but just we've lived the life in not in a McMansion. It was a 19th century stone fucking farmhouse. It was like a mansion. It had 17 rooms. I hated my house when I was a kid because to run across it took 6 minutes or something. It was such a big fucking house. You know, I hated it. I loved running around it, but it was also freezing cold and way too big. And it was just, you know, and to get from one point to another in the house, you're like, all right, I gotta go up 3 sets of stairs and go down a thing in a long hallway and shit. So you could hear me come galloping across the house every time somebody called my name, and I hated it. I was a lazy kid. I liked Game Boy and Calvin and Hobbes and shit. I like reading and playing my Game Boy. I did not like running around the yard and shit. I did it a lot. I was a very active kid, but I played soccer a lot. I mean, I was a very active kid. But I didn't like it, you know. There's a difference. I didn't like that stuff. I just did it because I felt I had to. They forced me to. I rode horseback. I was not professional. Excuse me. I was a competitive horse rider. Or whatever you call it. I was not a jockey because those are the people who run races. I was a horse jumper. I jumped horses competitively when I was 7. That's how rich we were. We literally rented a horse so I could jump horses. You know what I'm saying? It was weird. I have lived a more privileged life until I was 11 years old than my friends could ever dream to reach. And honestly, I would say the struggle is a lot better. The struggle is a lot better. It's a lot better than the middle class even. The middle class live in so much fear of... Now, the lower class has it worse. The lower class is like, oh my God, I'm getting evicted on Sunday. And then we do get evicted on Sunday. And they throw all of our shit on our on the streets. And the landlord has the help from his best friend, the pig. And I mean, lately, they're a lot better about that. But all the time growing up, I must have faced, I don't know, 7 evictions or something. Because you're always on the way out. You're always one paycheck from death, because essentially if you have a medical bill or a part in your car breaks or something like that, boom, gone, $2,200 gone, and a middle class person can pay that. If a lower class person pays that, you're fucked out in the gutter. You're gone, dead evicted. I've been evicted 7 times, and all of them were on good terms. All of them. The landlords fucking love me. They're like, man, you've always been one of our best tenants and stuff, and I understand that you just can't pay, and I won't burn your record, and trust me, we'll try and conceal this and all this, and I'm sorry you can't pay me anymore. And we all left it on good terms, almost all of them. But I did get evicted 7 times because they're like, man, when you're living in the lower class, if something bad happens, guess what? You spend the rent money on something else. Now, I liked the struggle a lot more. I still like the struggle a lot more. I'm in it. I live off $7,000 a year, and I don't have any money. I've never had any money. I'll buy games because I feel like that's how I'm going to dig myself out of this mess. But I mean, digging myself out of this mess, in my opinion, is making $25,000 a year for the rest of my life as a salary careered streamer or something like that. You know what I want? I want unions and I want socialized streaming where, like, not the government, but some fucking, like, honestly, this company, OTK, I'm sure they're paying all these guys $3 million. I wonder if they would be willing to take me, and should somebody take this video to them if they ever do hear me. Would you take me for 25 grand a year? I'll write a non-negotiable contract for me. I will work for peanuts if the human race will actually legitimize me in any way or form in the last 40 years. You want to talk about imposter syndrome? I don't have it. I have the actual syndrome. It's like pariah syndrome. It's not imposter. I don't think something that isn't true. I was cast out. And to me, like, I can live on the streets with 25 grand and not starve. That to me is like a rich man. Like, that's rich man money. And honestly, that's like how these people think too. And it's weird because I've never thought I'd ever meet or ever hear of anybody who ever had the same live stream as me. But honestly, all these idiots, I think, want $25 million a year or something like that. Big ninja money, like 50 million for signing to fucking Mixer or whatever the fuck. I'd be honestly so happy with 25 grand, and I think if they wanted to do me justice, they could double it. But honestly, like, I'd be so happy with 25 grand, and I would work, and I would sign a contract with them saying, yeah, I will put out content 8 hours a day, every single day for the rest of my fucking life. You can fire me and end the contract at any point if I don't honor up to that, and I will work. And you know I will work because I've done it for 15 months and I've taken like 4 days off due to surgeries, mental breakdowns, or health issues or something like that. It's never like I don't work because I don't want to. I love this shit. I live for this and I can't stop talking. So there's my little, like, I know I haven't been talking much lately, but I would rather make much more, like, poignant conversation when the point is poignant than trying to talk about, like, what's wrong with Logan Paul or some stupid, vacuous shit. So now we're gonna, like, to end this little, like, soliloquy I'm talking about here, we're gonna listen to his live stream again, because I never thought I would ever hear somebody else say this. I just never ever thought. I never thought some streamer making 10 million a year had a life dream of retiring to a one bedroom and living there in relative safety for the rest of their life, because this guy has obviously been through it. It's the war. It's my mother never did sat down and watch me play a video game ever. She would play Tetris with us and Dr. Mario and stuff. She was a cooler mom than most. She definitely was, but she never has ever sat down. She still won't do it. She'll never sit down. She'll never recognize that what I do is legitimate in any way or form. Nobody in her generation will. They cut us off from the money. They wouldn't help us pay rent. They cast us out on the streets. They didn't care if we were drug addicts. They didn't care if we smoked 2 packs a day of cigarettes and we're killing ourselves. They don't care what the suicide rate is. They think we did it to ourselves, and honestly, they're right about that. We did this all to ourselves. But the difference is we care about everything that they do. This guy lovingly, passionately talks about his father, and so does Asmongold, and so does, I'm sure, Miro probably keeps her parents a little bit more secret and stuff. But they lovingly talk about how their family's still there for them when no one else was. Roommates were there, friends were there, but like really, like nobody in this society would ever legitimize what it is we do, which is weird because it's a society that will legitimize prostitutes, drug dealers, Wolf of Wall Street, fucking, Bill Gates was on the Lolita Express and he's still walking around. Like, I don't know why a child molester, just because of money, has more legitimacy in this fucking culture than a video game addict. And I'm sorry, but I mean, I really don't. I don't know why that's the case. And honestly, it scarred us all. It scarred him mentally. And you don't believe me? Listen to the dream that he's got. They're gonna ask him, what was your plan? Right? He's asking him right now, what's the plan? There's stuff you can do. He's like, nah, I can't ever get another job again. If I fuck out at this, if I get canceled and I can't make ends meet, meet, like, honestly, I can't get another job again. I can't, because like I myself personally cannot do that because I am on disability, and they will just cut off that $7,000 a year, and I will starve to death unless I live on the streets and hustle. They won't let me work. I mean, they will, but like not a job that I can stand, honestly. And I can't work jobs I can't stand. It's the one thing I've been shot at. I have been chased. I have been ostracized and cast out. I have been hunted. I have been false charged. I have fought the city of Denver. I've fought and hunted police before. I have watched many people die. I have watched, not by my own hand or anything, I'm just saying I've watched people overdose before. I have seen darkest shit you'll ever fucking see in America, short of full-blown gang violence in places like Baltimore or South Central. Haven't lived a life like that, thank God. I did live in the lower class in a white neighborhood called Platt Park in Denver, Colorado, and I still love that motherfucker. You know what my favorite memory of all fucking time is? Going on down to the bar with my friends on South Broadway and South Louisiana, and having a job as a taxi driver and being able to pay for my own $3.75 beer that everyone else had to buy for me my whole fucking life. One of the ways my friends really understood me was like, it's not like I asked them, I'll ask them if I'm desperate for a cigarette and I'm about to have a mental breakdown if I don't have a cigarette, if you don't buy me a pack of cigarettes or something. I was very much a mooch. But it wasn't like I would often go ask unless I was about to die, basically. I would come and ask when I really needed it. And they were like, you need to come ask more. And I was like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. They won't legitimize what I do. They won't pay attention to it. They won't allow me to make money doing it. They've made RMT illegal, so I can't sell the currency. They're like, and it still is, essentially. The companies own the TOSs, and the worst nightmare I can think of is losing my characters. It just is. It's the worst nightmare. And I've lost my character. I sold my first two characters. My first two characters comprised of something like 6,000 hours before I was of the age of 19 or something like that. I sold both of those characters for almost like 10 grand, and it's the biggest mistakes I ever made. Biggest hands down. Think about it almost every day. Like the only regret I truly have beyond letting that man scare the love of my life away was like, you know, selling those characters. I shouldn't have done that. I loved those characters. They were a piece of my life. Skyfall on fucking World of Warcraft, the Venture Company, and Skycat on I'm sorry, Catalysta, excuse me, Catalysta on Final Fantasy 11, or no, I'm sorry, it was Skyfall. They were both Skyfall on Final Fantasy 11 and Skyfall on World of Warcraft. And I sold my Final Fantasy 11 account for $3,700, and I sold the World of Warcraft for $710. And it was really good money. It was the most money I'd ever had in my life. But that money, when I sold that account, I was so in hole for the rent that when I received that $3,700 check, I just gave it to my mother. I didn't even fucking cash that motherfucker. I signed it over to her, and I was like, here's $3,700 for the last like 6 months rent. I gotta keep playing video games. I'm sorry. And she was like, I understand. At least you came up with something, and I respect you for what you did. You still owe me $7,000. And I was like, yeah. I owe my best friend $11,000. He paid my rent for 2 years when it was $275 a month, back before Denver went crazy and it ran the rent from $700 to $2,000 and all this other weird crazy shit, right? So this whole thing about legitimacy, I don't expect it from the human race. I don't think this guy, he's got $10 million, and I don't think he thinks that they'll ever look at him as a legitimate person. And streamer is like even less legitimate because it's not a real job. When you go and fill out a fucking real application at a real job, and I'm intensely aware of this, I'm like, I've either got to live for $7,000 a year for the rest of my life, which I'd be okay with, you know, I'd be okay. I can do that. I've done it all my life. I'm good with it. I know I can do it. I've done it for 20 years. You know, I can get it. I can get by on $7,000 a year for and that to me is like so much money. $7,000 is so much fucking money. That means that you can actually not starve, you know. Between the food stamps and the $7,000, it means you will never starve. You can probably keep the heat on, and you're always so slowly sinking, which I am. But you're never on the streets, you know. And I used to dream of making $7,000 a year because the legitimacy was just not there. I refused to ever give up my fucking dream. Past the age of 20, I was like, nope, this is what I want to do. I don't care. Some of these kids have only been doing this for like 13 fucking years, but honestly, that guy Begon that was in my channel last quarter when we did a fucking Baldur's Gate 3, right? Like that guy Begon, he's been there with me for almost the whole 20 years. Not with me, but he was there as a friend. He's been there as a witness. He knows that I have done this like as a full-time thing pretty much my entire adult life. If it wasn't WoW, it was some other fucking game. And he knows, just like I do, that they'll never legitimize it. They'll never give us the respect that chess players get or football players get. Streamers can get it, and YouTube content creators can get it. But actual video game addicts who play, what do? I do 405 hours a month. It's what is it? It's like 96 a week for 405 total or some shit like that. It is. I can pull it right now on the Twitch. It's like I took a week break this week, so it's not a good example where I would go look at it. But I do pull, like, you know, I mean, who the fuck works like 14-hour fucking day or whatever, 8 to 14-hour days? I mean, people work 8-hour days, but they don't work 14 hours. Like when I first started this, I did it for a year and a half solid. I did 14 hours a day, and I would scream at anything or anybody who tried to get in my way from doing that. And now I'm a little bit better. I've chunked it down a bit. I mean, I'm still working like 12-hour days, but it's like I've never worked this hard in my whole life. And honestly, I think for somebody like him and her who never really faced legitimacy issues and never ever faced the streets, they were given, I mean, she might have faced the streets, but I don't think he ever did. I don't think his mother ever made him face the streets, and he'd ever had the stuff like by the age of 16, I was a pack a day habit because I was so stressed out. By the age of 27, I had white hair in my beard, and that's how you know. But it was younger than that. It was like by the age of 25, half my beard was white because of the stress that I have faced during my teens and 20s, just trying to be a fucking video game addict and try to receive some kind of recognition that I wasn't, you know. I can really relate. And one of the reasons I can really get along with people of other races is because I fundamentally believe I'm like in terms of society sussing out, right? I'm like 3/5 of a human being. Drunk crackhead bums literally have more legitimacy in this culture than I do as a 14-hour a day, hardworking, has made some money from donations, fucking streamer. I still feel like a crackhead drunk bum on Skid Row out there in LA still has more legitimacy. And one of the reasons I feel like this is when I had my mental breakdowns, only a couple people came, but when Patty Shamel, the drummer for the band Hole, she got depressed because Courtney replaced her on the fifth album or whatever, Celebrity Skin, because she was too much of a heroin addict at that point. They all were. All of them were terrible heroin addicts at that point, but Patty was the crazy one. She was the Keith Moon. She was just off the hook. And so she was literally by 2005, I think, she was like living on, she was the drummer from Hole. I watched a whole documentary about this, and I love her to death. I love Patty. I love Patty so much. I love Patty. I love Hole. I don't care what they think about Courtney and Yoko. I love Hole and I like Yoko. I don't care. And Patty was the drummer from Hole. She had cut 4 platinum albums, or at least 2 platinum, or whatever. Yeah, she wrote 2 platinum albums with Courtney. And like, she was one of the strongest female drummers of all time. But she was living as a drunk crackhead, fucking essentially prostitute, druggy. Like she was like shooting up black, and she was just on Skid Row drinking. And literally, like, Courtney was like so worried about her, but she wouldn't go hunt for her because Patty had just thrown it all away. And you'd be surprised how often like celebrities will tell stories like this. So and I can relate to this. So but the difference is Patty did make $10 million in her life like this guy did. The problem is I think she was legitimized, even though she was a junkie, heroin, drunk, alcoholic, about to die type, like Janis Joplin, who also was totally accredited and totally was given legitimacy and all this stuff. I watched these drunk crackhead people on Skid Row have more social esteem than I did as a sober, hardworking, 14-hour-a-day video game habit person, and the only habit I had was cigarettes. That was it. Cigarettes. I was occasionally I was a druggie, and occasionally I was a gonzo most of my life, but I was not this cracked out person all of my life. I used to get high and play a lot of video games like everybody else, but it never governed me, it never guided me, never was this higher like priority than living my life or any of this other stuff. And so now I don't have imposter. I guess you could call it imposter syndrome, or even fear of success. I think for a long time it really was fear of success for me. I thought, oh, I'll just lose it all when AT&T crumbles and my parents' divorce happens, and right when I make $10 million, I think they're going to come steal it from me. And I guarantee you, everybody in this room, I guarantee you, they think the same thing. I think they're really convinced that sooner or later, either the people who brought them there, or the lawyers, or the scene, or the government will come and take all their money away, which is why Asmongold doesn't blow a lot of money. I think she doesn't have any fear of this, but I think they do. They were cast out and pariahed for at least 7 years of their life. You know what my favorite movie of all time is of course, because it's one of the best stories ever told. It's the Iliad and the Odyssey. It's by Homer, which is the story of Homeward Bound. It's the same story as Homeward Bound. I've been lost at sea for 7 years, and all I want to see is my daughters again. That's what he says in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? My favorite movie of all time. I rewatched it this week. He says, and I don't do movies very often. He says, I just want to get home and see my daughters. Right? For me, it was like I just want to be recognized as a human being with a higher social esteem than a drunk crackhead bum on Skid Row just because I like video games. And I had to do all kinds of things to make that pass. I had to work jobs that I didn't like. I had to do things I didn't want to do. I had to I got evicted 7 times because I was constantly in trouble every time I couldn't pay a medical bill or something like that, or cell phone bill goes crazy. Or remember what they used to do? They'd be like, oh, you bought a World of Warcraft subscription and you had $14.91. This happened to me like 7 times, to the point where my mother was like, I will slice your, I mean, she didn't actually say this, but she was like, I will fucking kill you. And this is said in jest. My mother has never threatened to kill me. She was like, I will fucking kill you in your sleep if you run up any more non-sufficient fees ever again. She was like, I cannot continue to pay the bank more money than I make. I really can't do that. And I was like, I'm sorry. What it was like, we were living off of $15 monthly fees, $7 packs of cigarettes, and $3 poor boy sandwiches from the Safeway. Shit like this. I know it because they look like it. It wrecked their teeth, it wrecked their bodies, wrecked their minds, and all this shit that we couldn't even get food stamps sometimes because they're like, you haven't worked in 7 years. Yeah, I haven't worked in 7 years, except I clock 800-hour months. Yeah, I haven't worked in 7 years, but I do work 80-hour weeks trying to raid. And yeah, it's selfish, but I don't care. I mean, I don't see how that isn't the pursuit of freedom and happiness. I don't see how that's not the pursuit of happiness. But no, gamers aren't allowed the pursuit of happiness of being a drunk crackhead bum. Americans are allowed to have freedom, right? That's what we're given in this country. It's called freedom. So we don't really try to judge people when they want to be a drunk crackhead bum on fucking Skid Row. We say they're going through some things or something like that. But when you say, oh, I raid World of Warcraft for 80 hours a week, and I work with Australians, and I run a 500-man Australian guild. I've done this for 13 years, and I've never made a penny, and I work harder than anybody else I've ever met times 5, but yet I still haven't ever made a penny. And the first thing they say is, you're fucking stupid. The second thing they say is, idiot. And the third thing they say is, well, you better change. You better change. You got to learn to love yourself. The first thing they say is you got to learn to love yourself before you can love others. And I say, try it, motherfucker. You try it. When you got an obsession like this, you learn to love others and just throw your life away at it. You throw your life away at World of Warcraft or ESO or fucking, Terra or fucking, all the dumb games I played over the years. Rust. I threw my life away over Rust for like 3 fucking years, and I don't regret it. But understand me, it's not like Russ comes and pays me money, if I could go shill on fucking stream, I could do this. But it wouldn't matter. The legitimacy never did happen in ways where I was a lot more legitimate than I am as a streamer right now. They will not accept me. I've tried every single fucking way. Good, bad. Doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Doesn't matter if you work a nice job making at one point I was making like 54 grand a year as a taxi driver. It doesn't matter. The legitimacy was gone the first time I couldn't pay rent or couldn't pay my rental on my car. It was gone instantly. They're like, yeah, you're homeless again. And it doesn't matter that you worked for 7 years as a taxi driver. You couldn't pay rent one time. You couldn't pay your rental on your fucking taxi or your fucking car. So now you don't have a job, a home, or any place to go. And you're tough titty. That's what you face when you're a taxi driver or whatever the fuck. And I got so used to feast and famine and bullshit and working dead end fucking bullshit like construction jobs to sleep on the streets and shit like that. Be a methamphetamine addict because at least it like keeps me awake long enough to play the video games and still be a full-time adult at the same time, because I never did give up on the fucking video games, and we used to actually appreciate the pursuit of happiness and dedication in this culture. But now it's just money. All it is money. You didn't make money doing that for 20 years, so you gotta fucking stop now, right? You get that all the time. No, I don't. Sandy Koufax didn't stop playing fucking baseball. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, Rocky Balboa didn't stop fucking punching Apollo, whether or not he got paid or not. Like fucking, Babe Ruth got paid, but I mean, like, trust me, he still did it for the love of the fucking game. Same way Ninja does it for the fucking love of the game. Same way Asmongold does it for the love of the games. It's the love of the fucking game. We used to respect it in this country, but no, baseball players are like one baseball player is equal to the entire one successful minor league baseball player's career is literally more legitimate than the entirety of all of the MMO addicts' lives combined in all of mankind's history. One minor league big ball player is respected more than the entirety of all of the MMO players in the history of the mankind, and all of their work comprised of one big large fucking chunk of hours. It's just not something that mankind respects, and I don't understand it. We respect Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, we're getting better. It's a struggle. I admit it's not like it's going to happen overnight. But you want to talk about some discrimination, I would say. I used to be like, I'm a professional gamer, and I would say it with a laugh. But I mean, I am kind of. It doesn't matter whether or not they pay me. I'm still going to fucking do it at least. I cannot remember. It has been 5.5 years since I haven't done this 80 hours a week, at least 9 hours every day for the last 5.5 years or something like that. Maybe 5 days worth of breaks or something, maybe a little more, 6, 7 after surgeries. But it's like, yeah, in 5 years, I have done this every day, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, sometimes 20 hours a fucking day for a long time. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, you want to talk about imposter syndrome? I don't have imposter syndrome. I have true pariah syndrome. I was actually cast out and treated worse than the drunk crackhead bums for a hobby that's never killed anybody, never caused any harm, isn't some kind of drain, or I mean, it's a drain on society's power and influence, and it has some negative effects, gaming, like anything else in this world does, but it doesn't have the kind of footstep that like drugs do, or driving cars do, or like even like rocket engines or bombs or guns or something. It doesn't have that kind of footprint. I'm not a bad person for playing video games all my fucking life on my crappy Super Nintendo or my one single tower and my 1 or 2 TVs I've had my whole life. It's really not that big of a fucking footprint the way, like, say, using needles all your life might be. How many pounds of heroin and how many hundreds of thousands of dollars it might cost to buy heroin per se, or like alcohol or cocaine or something like that, or something else that you might make you a pariah in this fucking society. And on top of it, all my life I keep hearing the stone that the builder refused shall be the head cornerstone, and judge not lest ye be judged. Try that. Yeah, the most judgmental people I've ever met. Anyways, so, and that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to be quiet now, I promise. I just want to hear what he had to say originally, because I've rambled a lot here, but I stayed on point, I think, with this one. We're going to hear what his life dream was, and I'll conclude it very elegantly with what he was talking about. They say you can find a job No, I can't. I've worked 80 hours. I don't know how to do anything else. I have worked 80 hours a week as a gamer since I was like 20 years old. I'm sorry, it's not a profession. It doesn't pay because they won't let us pay each other. And I'm sorry, it's just either that or you got to break the rules or break TOS or not pay taxes or act like a despot or something like that. I don't want to feel like I'm less worth, like I'm less worth than a drunk crackhead bum in this society anymore. And so when I went into it, I was like, yeah, they're never going to pay me more than 25 or 50 grand with this current attitude of I don't want them in my life. I don't want their clout. I don't want their money. I don't want their acceptance. I don't care what they think. I don't care about what they want me to do. I don't care about what games whether they like the games that I play or not. I just didn't do this for them. I wanted a personal fucking history of what it was actually fucking like. You know, I really did. I wanted a personal history. I was like, yeah, well, we missed the first 20 years, but by the time I'm 60, they're gonna understand. When I televise 20 years of this, they're gonna fucking understand. I'll force them to understand. It's called freedom in the pursuit of happiness. We used to respect it in this country. Now it's only how much money you make.
The thing is, like any job that I've been in 2 jobs, or it's not a lot, but like any job, if you...
And I don't often do react content anymore because I'm scared of stealing from these people. So I'm only going to watch like this 15 seconds where they say the most important thing that they're going to say in this whole video, which is what their life dreams are, which is probably to be left alone.
Show up to work on time and you do your job, you are automatically in the top 50%. You're automatically above like half of the people that are working there. Because they're
everyone starts just dead ending. Yep, they're like everyone I know shows up to whatever they do, and they pretty much immediately begin engaging in what I call stinking thinking, which is like, oh, this sucks. I don't want to be here. I gotta have more coffee, be more toxic, and talk more shit by the water cooler or whatever the fuck. Yeah, if you don't love what you're fucking doing, I don't care what it is, whether it's a job or your wife or your fucking life or your husband or your fucking kids or your fucking family or your whatever. I think we used to value the pursuit of freedom and the pursuit of happiness, but now it's like if you don't do it for money, you're just wrong. Yeah. I'm saying if you're not doing what you do every single day, all day long, out of love, then you are fucked up. You know, you are fucked up. If you don't love what you do all day, every day, don't do it. Guy, you know, my favorite joke of all time is, doctor, a guy goes to the doctor and he says, doctor, it hurts when I do this. What does the doctor say? You know, guy's hurt. He goes to the doctor. He says, doctor, it doesn't matter what it is. Doctor, it hurts when I do this. What does the doctor say? It's this cute logic joke that most humans can't answer. It's actually kind of funny. It's don't do this. Well, don't do that then. That's the answer. It's logic, right? Don't do things that don't make you happy. And so I knew deep down inside it was a long shot. It was a long shot. My favorite song almost of all time is this song called Hallelujah by a band, indie emo band kind, or not. You know, I would say they probably wouldn't like that. I would say like there's just an indie band called Kind of Like Spitting. They're one of my favorite bands. And I love Kind of Like Spitting. That guy changed my life. And I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost the train of thought. But you know, it's hard to describe. But it's like if I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. I lost it. I rambled too much, and I try to quote lyrics, and it scrambled my drug addict brain, or whatever, my scrambled ex-drug addict brain. It scrambled the eggs there, and I lost the quote. I'm terribly sorry. But there we go. My favorite song by Her Space Holiday is Sleeping Pills, and it's a very good song. And the lyrics are like this. This song changed me fundamentally. Lyrics for Sleeping Pills, Her Space Holiday, right? I love this fucking band. It's not Kind of Like Spitting, but they're a very similar band, I think, in some ways. Her Space Holiday. This is like my favorite song of all time, almost. There's a few. This is one of them. This song changed me. He's like, hallelujah for sleeping pills and dayman for a good stiff drink. You know that I can't sleep, so why should I try? It's been this way for years. years. You think by now I'd know why. So here's the quote. Hallelujah for long shot dreams, and amen for a perfect life, but know that I can't win. So why the fuck should I try? It's been this way for years. You think by now I'd know why. And I never heard anybody say it so succinctly. I can't sleep without sleeping pills. And until I got sleeping pills from the doctors, I never had a normal life. I've got non-circadian like rhythms. I work 12, 14, 16, 20 hours a day. I'm crazy. I don't eat right. I don't think right. I don't like for a long time I watched too much porn. I don't watch much porn anymore. Like I don't, it's like kind of crazy. I listen to music now when I'm feeling like porn. When I get horny, I listen to music, and I think this is a lot healthier for me. As crazy as that is, like honestly, this used to be my porn folder. I erased it. I made this promise to myself when I got clean. I was like, yeah, I've got this porn folder that I know disgusts my best friend. Disgusting. It just disgusted her when she saw it. She was like, oh my God, that is the most disgusting fucking thing I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. It's 7 years of handpicked porn. And I was like, yeah, it's every porn I've ever had an orgasm to that was good enough. And she was like, that is the most disgusting fucking thing I've ever seen. And within a year, I had just deleted the file and replaced it with this one called Muzak. And now where there used to be porns, there's music. You see it? And I had to do this. I had to do this because I was like literally using porn as like some kind of replacement for human contact. Like I think a lot of men on this planet are doing right now. And I was like, she was like, this is not healthy. And I was like, this is not healthy. It's not, I can't do this anymore. And so I didn't, I stopped doing it. I was like, doctor, it hurts when I jack off all my life and don't actually touch a woman. And he was like, don't do this. And I was like, okay. And I didn't do that. And I immediately started touching women again. It's kind of funny. So it was just, it's
well,
like, oh, Jesus Christ. Why did we blow this huge video in my face? I'm sorry.
Hello, guys.
Phrasing. Did we just go crazy all over the place and launch 50 videos here? Yes, we did. Why? Why did we do this? Why did we open 7 websites for some reason? Anyways, so, oh, Google. Oh, YouTube. You're so silly. You couldn't design a fucking browser if you made $50 billion, which you did. Your front end sucks dick, Google. Fix it. Anyways. Yep, and there we go, and that's all the anti-pirate or anti-fucking software despot shit I'm gonna do today. I just and now we're finally gonna close it. We're gonna elegantly finish this here.
Doing something wrong, they're annoying, or something like that. So if you just don't do that, people will be totally fine with you.
Okay, I guess I'm under the doomer mentality, which is
I'm under the doomer mentality, but I had it before him, and it wasn't because I was a doomer. I'm a glass half full person. I really believe it. I really fundamentally believe in something that House MD taught me, which was that or really it's the Rolling Stones who probably learned it from the Maharishi and the Beatles and stuff, which is that you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you're gonna get what you need. And I really fundamentally believe this more than I believe in The Secret, which is, it is The Secret. It's essentially The Secret. If you put it out to the universe that and you actually try, you're gonna get what you need in the end, but it's never gonna be what you wanted, and it's never gonna be when you needed it, and it's never gonna be as bad as you thought, and it's always gonna be better than you thought, and it's all these other weird laws about nature and the laws of attraction and The Secret and all this stupid hippie bullshit that I don't truly subscribe to because it's not science. I just know the verses and I believe in them because they work. They work for me. I've always been able to get by somehow, even when I was in the darkest days of my life and I had been shot at and starved and arrested and falsely charged and like attempted murdered and all this other stuff. And like even in the darkest days, I never stopped smiling, and I never stopped thinking that I had been cast out of society and I wasn't a member of the human race anymore, and I still think this, and I can't go back. And the pursuit of happiness to me now as an American means keeping those people the fuck away from me. They'll never accept me. I think the greatest bias that I can think of Not the greatest one, but it's one of the worst. I think professional gamers, while they're not as hated as much as, say, like terrorists or drug dealers or even prostitutes, I still don't think they have any better social climb than that. We are essentially the same pariahs that drug dealers, prostitutes, and like drug addicts get. They just get kicked out of society. They don't care if we can't pay our bills. They don't care if we're starving. They don't care if we did this to ourselves, right? Where you were a hooker on the streets. You get what you pay for, or whatever, right? It is what it is. So so here's his dream. He's got this doomer mentality, but it's actually more that he was cast out of society. And I wrote a book about this. I actually did. I've got a book on my hard drive called Pariah Cats that I'm never gonna share with the human race ever. I swear to God, it's my greatest possession. I'm never giving my book to the human race. They can have it after I die, I guess, because I can't stop them. But until then, they're not getting my book. They're not getting it because, like, trust me, I wrote like a Kurt Vonnegut book in my lifetime, and I'm never publishing that motherfucker because I just don't like the human race, and I don't want them reading my work. I don't like this stream in the respect that I don't want them seeing me or understanding me or even knowing who I am. But I do it anyways because I really feel like it's like the only way I'm ever going to reach $25,000 a year so I can live in a tiny one-bedroom place like this and not starve to death when I'm an old man because I chose the most hated profession not the most hated profession, but one of the top 5 most hated professions of all time. And I love that motherfucker more than I bet you I love my job and I've spent more time doing it than Pablo Escobar did being Pablo Escobar. I guarantee it. I've done more. In the end, Pablo probably quit by the age of 75 or something like that. I'm not quitting by the age of 75. I'm going to run the video game cocaine for the rest of my life until the day I fucking die. I'm not stopping. You know what I'm saying? So like in the end, in the end, they'll have legitimized and broke Pablo Escobar out of jail before they'll break me out of jail. It is actually like socially worse to be like a professional gamer who just spent his entire life being a fucking herbivore. It is like literally so despicable to the culture. In the end, they won't say it. They won't say it to our faces. But nerds don't get a fair shake. They actually don't. These men are better proof of it than me. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm better proof of it than they are now because they did finally get a fair shake. But understand, they didn't get that shake the same way that I'm not getting that shake from MMOs. They did not get their fucking fair shake from MMORPGs. I mean, he kind of did, but no, it was Twitch and the destruction of their public life, the destruction of their friendships, the destruction of their family, the destruction of their privacy, the destruction of their happiness. I think she's still happy a little bit, but one of the things you'll see about streamers is they only smile on cue when they think it's appropriate. We are not very happy people, some of us. I'm not talking about streamers, sorry, I'm talking about gaming streamers are not particularly happy people. You don't believe me? Look at their faces right now. No smile. No smile, no smile. They're not particularly happy people in their loose moments that aren't delivery of content or that kind of thing. You can see it on Kira's face. It's Kira TV went through this. I guarantee it. I bet my fucking life on it. It's the pariah cat syndrome. Is the phrase. I've never been able to come up with a phrase for it. So I thought of it as, I've got. You know why my name is Skycat is because Final Fantasy 11, because I was like, I had 2 personalities. There was the person that I was in the real life, who was like this like fucked up scrapper kid who partied all the time and was like totally wasted most of his life, and he was a lead singer and like a scrapper and a gutter punk, right? And then there was then there was Catalysta, who was like a cat girl, a Mithra Final Fantasy 11 Mithra cat girl who lived in Sky in Final Fantasy 11. Sky is a zone in Final Fantasy 11. You can see it here. People always ask me where I got my name from, and I say, I mean, it's true. It's Final Fantasy 11 Sky, right? Sky looks like this. It's literally a zone in Final Fantasy 11. I was the Sky Cat. I was in Sky so much, more than ever than Asmongold was ever in raids. I was in Sky so much for like 4 years. It was like 4 years of just solid Sky every single fucking day of my life, all day long. And I was a bard, and there was a summoner I remember named Ixion. There was our leader Sinstar, who I met later on Horizon. 17 years later, I ran across Sinstar, my oldest LS member, and I shot the shit with him for like fucking 10 minutes too. And I was like, dude, I was your bard in fucking in Kupo way the fuck back on Fenrir in 2005, before most of these kids were born. And that's verbatim what I said. And he was like, I remember you. You were the best bard in North America. And I was like, I remember you. You're the best you're the best ninja in America. And we like hit the floor laughing, both of us. I saw him on Horizon, and I was like, Sinstar. He didn't know my name because I was like, yeah, I'm Skyfall. And he was like, oh, that's why your name seems so familiar. I was like, I thought your name sounded familiar because it's kind of close, Skycat and Skyfall. Yeah, I've always been either Skyfall or Skycat or Catalysta or some form of those two things. And finally, there was this point where I left society about 5.5 years ago. I had like a schizophrenic mental breakdown, where I was like, yeah, they tried to kill me. They scared the love of my life away. They're hunting me in the streets with false charges, and they're threatening to throw me in jail for 10 years. I've never harmed anybody or stolen from anybody in any way that they've ever tracked anyways. I've never committed any real crimes or anything. And they're just trying to kill me. They're outright trying to kill me. I think any of my friends would say they were outright trying to kill me. By the time I entered the system again in 2017, they were like trying, after 13 years of being out of the system, they were trying to kill me. By 2019, I full-blown felt like the system was trying to like literally kill me. So many false charges came through for no reason at all. They were telling me probation violation on non-felony drug charges are going to cost you 10 years in jail, mandatory minimum sentencing. And I hear this System of a Down song pop in my head called Build a Prison, you know? And I heard this on a video the other day. They were talking about how essentially they built the prison industrial complex because they just can't have young men running around living as herbivores with nothing to do, no passions, no jobs, no money, nothing, just causing mischief for the entire culture. They can't actually have that, so they throw us all in jail. I always wondered what that prison industrial complex push was and why all those false charges were there. It was because I never did respect any law that they ever had except for rape and murder and stealing and fraud. So I just blasted through any law that I didn't believe in since I was like 13 years old. I didn't care what it was. Smoking cigarettes at the age of 13, I didn't give a shit. Smoking weed, didn't give a shit. Smoking speed or heroin, didn't give a shit. Don't care what they think about that. Don't care that it's against the law. I don't care if people sell sex. I don't care if people sell drugs. I really don't know why people should care about that. Isn't the, to quote XKVCD hat guy, isn't the consequences of being a drug addict enough, So if we go and look at Kira's face here, we got to get Kira's face. I think he's got these clickbaity things, but I want to see Kira's face somewhere in this video. I don't think I probably will. I think he knows that he can't smile anymore. There's a wonderful song called "I Can't Smile" by Everclear, which is about what happens to you after you've been a heroin addict for 7 years. I know because it happened to me. I'm a methamphetamine ex-methamphetamine addict, ex-heroin addict. Used to smoke a lot of heroin, not needles, smoked. And like it does something to your dopamine where you have to force yourself to smile. I'm doing it right now. Otherwise, you're just deadpan faced. You're a gamer and nothing impresses you. You've seen epic worlds die and be reborn in an instant. You've seen dragons die. You've led 500-man pushes, and you've seen the echelons, the upper echelons, and you rolled against the gladiators, and etc. And you've seen it all. And and just nothing impresses you anymore, and you don't care about money like them because money's never been a problem for you. One of the things about this is I've never had a problem pulling online currency in massive amounts. Never had a problem with that. Kira never had a problem with that. A lot of them went crazy on Bitcoin and then lost it all. I was like, nope, I can see the scam from 10 years away. Nope. And and I was right. I was right about that. All my friends stepped to me like, dude, Bitcoin's your key out of poverty. You got to be doing Bitcoin. It's the Wild Wild West out there. You can make $1 billion. Get out there and do Bitcoin. You'd be so good at it. And I was like, nope, that's death. It's a loss of a career and some imprisonment. I'm not doing that. I don't care about money like you. I've never had a problem making money when it actually mattered. You know what I'm saying? When it actually mattered, I can get out on those fucking streets and raise $210. I wouldn't have been able to live on the fucking streets if I couldn't raise $210 in a day, no matter what my situation was. Broken arm, broken ribs, doesn't fucking matter. I've done that before. So, understand me. I don't know how I did it. I just did it. I did it. So, you just call up some people, start flinging something, go buy some clothes from ARC and go sell them at a consignment. I mean, there's lots of things we used to do to get by like this. You hustle, So where I'm going with this is finally we're going to listen to his dream. And it's the worst dream I've ever heard of. And it's the same exact dream that I've got. I don't care if I make $10 million fucking doing this. And I hope I do, because that money really matters to other people. I could give a living two shits about that. I have reached what I consider to be short of my physical body. That's it. I've reached what I consider to be like the peak of manhood. My intellect is sharp. Even with brain damage, my intellect is sharp. I'm having the greatest day. Every day is the greatest day of my life. I have lived and loved and made love to many women. I've traveled all over the world. I have traveled all over the digital world. I've beaten every game. I've slaughtered every MMO. I've built personal empires on all of them. I don't care if anybody else cares about that or wants to fact check it or any of it. That matters to me because it's true. It happened. I have these things. I've got all the accounts except for the ones I sold, and nobody gives a living shit about 1 second of that or 80 years of it. It doesn't matter. You could clock 80 years of it unless you get famous doing something else in the meantime, like these three. They will never legitimize you. They will. It's more likely to be Pablo fucking Escobar or fucking rest in peace. Our favorite offensive lead was died in a helicopter crash. Kobe, right? Kobe. Like, it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. Legitimacy will never happen. So this guy knows it. This guy knows it. She falsely believes that she has security because of her gender. But no, they'll come and take her money and cancel her right the fuck away and snare her up in lawsuits if she fucks up at all, which is one of the reasons why she can't smile, because she's scared it might be misinterpreted as something bad and get her canceled. She's so scared. You can see it. She doesn't have imposter syndrome like a lot of the girls her age do. She's got something worse. It's like actual fear of this reality that she's not a construct. She's actually bona fide. So you can see it. She has no fear, which is something that's scaring her the most. And it's hard for her to smile. It's hard for her to be happy. It's hard for them to sleep. It's not an easy life, and I don't want sympathy for it. I'm just trying to explain to you, and it takes me like an hour to do this, what my life was actually like. So, and on top of it, I had two personalities almost all my life. One could call that schizophrenia. I used to talk to my parents and my principals and my fucking guidance counselors and my fucking shrinks and shit about it. I used to be like, do you know that 50% of my life is my online personality and 50% of my life is my in real life personality? One is a dude, one is a woman. One is a real life drug addict asshole who will steal the money out of your pockets if given a chance. Total opportunist, gotta learn to pick up the easy meat with your eyes closed type person. I'm an opportunist person on the street basically, because I just never cared to take care of myself. It was more about others and also my job. Job. They'll never pay me for my fucking job. I'll have to become a famous streamer first, So they'll never pay me for my actual job. They sewed that up 20 years ago. So, on top of it, I've joined other professions like drug dealer or laptop repairer right the day they died. The same way that the day I started streaming is the day, I'm fairly sure, the day I started streaming, February 6, 2022, was the day that Twitch died. Exactly like I finally reached my personal goal of raising $2,500 in a day doing drug deals, methamphetamine deals, because I was like, I'm going to bail out my best friends, I'm going to bail out my mother, I'm going to bail out my stepfather, I'm going to save my girlfriend, I'm going to save everybody I ever knew that was ever in trouble, I'm going to be Frank Wright, like the American gangster, and I'm going to fucking fix every problem that every person around me has, and they can throw me in jail, who the fuck cares about that? I'll buy a notebook and I'll tear up little pieces of paper and I'll play Hearthstone with myself for 30 years or whatever the fuck it takes to get out of that mess. And in the meantime, I'll take 20 million or whatever it is I make as a methamphetamine dealer, and I will fix every problem of every fucking person around me. I don't care if they're rich or poor. It doesn't fucking matter what it is. I was into problem solving. They all knew it too. I had people who believed in me that were ready to do interstate compacts between the Northwest, Pacific Northwest and the Midwest. And I had like a prostitution ring. I had a fucking drug dealer ring. I had like 50 crew. I had people who would gun people down for me and shit like this. It was like fucking crazy. And it's not like I was like living the Breaking Bad. And on top of it, I was watching Breaking Bad every day too. And I was fairly sure I was like trying to be Heisenberg. It was kind of crazy. Not because I thought I was going to die of cancer like him, but because they just wouldn't ever legitimize anything I ever did. Not just the government, but my mother. Not just the government, but my mother would never legitimize who I was, what I did, what my job was. When I called my job a job, they would give me this 20-minute, every single person in the fucking world. I'm not kidding. From the teachers to anybody in a fucking authority figure range. I didn't care. It didn't matter who it was. If I mentioned that what I did was work or a job, I got this 20-minute fucking lecture about how being a video game player is essentially a non-entity. It's just not real. It's because it pays no money. You know, I get this like I never heard it before. Like I needed to change my dirty ways. That the thing I loved the most, which I feel is more legitimate than fuck out. You know one of the reasons why I think video games are greater than football, basketball, soccer, and well maybe not soccer, but football and basketball, football like American football and basketball and hockey combined. You want to know why I think gaming is better than that? Poker is too. Poker's better than football, basketball, or any of those because anybody can play poker. Anybody can play video games. Anybody in the world can compete in those things. Chess is better than football, basketball, and hockey combined. I don't care if you're a sports fan or not. I'm not trying to diss what you love. I'm trying to say that, like, you know, my work, it is not a job. They'll never validate what it is I chose to do all my life. And that I can't tell you what that does to you. So now here's what he's going to talk about here, which is what he's going to do with his $10 million, which is the exact same thing that she's going to do and the exact same thing that he's doing, which is nothing. They're going to assume sooner or later that mankind's going to go crazy and try to eventually delegitimize what it is they do, because that's what they've done to us our entire lives. And so we tend to love gay people. We tend to love trans. We tend to love people of other beautiful ethnicities. We love our people. We love our, you know, the most hated word for in the English language for me is the word minority. Because guess what? The white people are the minority now. I really hate that word. I've always hated that word, but I hate it now worse. Because it's like, dude, minority is a terrible fucking word. It's a terrible word. It's like one of the most terrible words in it's such a glass half empty word. It's so terrible. But I mean that's the reality now. Like we are it's so weird. Like in the same ways that those other ethnicities were never truly granted the American dream. I don't feel I was either for what? Playing video games my entire life? Why is it legal for companies to not allow us to sell skins or sell boost or sell currency or anything that we want to sell, like our bodies or drugs or any of this? Why is there so many middlemen on this fucking planet that it's killing the world? I don't know, but I know that it cannot continue like this. These people, they need legitimacy. They'll do whatever the fuck they have to do to get it. They will be on stream 14 hours a fucking day, running 3 podcasts and all this other shit, doing anything that they can do to make sure that they can continue to play games for the rest of their life without being ostracized worse than a drunk crackhead bum on Skid Row. And so listen to this man's dream. It's very poignant. It's the best thing I've seen on this entire podcast.
Kind of frequent, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Or
I think like that. So if you just don't do that, people will be totally fine with you.
Okay, I guess I'm under the doomer mentality, which is kind of frequent, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Or I think the moment I'm done content creating, I have no way to get any more income. So I try to be very...
Yep, there's no income past and that's another thing about this job. It's not like residuals come in like Hollywood or loyalties or something like that. The minute you stop, the income stops. It's exactly like independent contractual labor. You only get what you put in. You don't get some kind of retire. It's one of the harshest jobs in the land. It has no retirement age. It has no hope. It has no eligibility past the point of content creation. Imagine if you're a wonderful, beautiful makeup person like James Charles and they cancel you despite 12 years of some of the best fucking, content on YouTube, and they cancel your ass. And I'm talking, this is a beautiful human being. I think a lot of people in this community wouldn't say this, and I'm sure he's got his issues, and I'm sure he's been canceled like the fuck everybody else, like Shane Dawson for coming on a cat or whatever, right? But still, I still see a beautiful fucking person here, the same way I see it in the fucking fellow gamers. I don't want to have these freedom talks about my fucking profession, but like, man, I have been a drug dealer. I was more legitimized as a drug dealer than I ever was as a gamer. It's like actually fucked up. I've been there. I've done it. I've been around prostitution rings who had more legitimacy than what I faced in my life as a fucking legal video gamer. It's like really disgusting, you know? And like there's not a lot of hope here. Is why they can't smile. They traded their souls to the devil the same way I'm trying to do it. And the only reason I'm doing this, and I guarantee they're doing it for the same fucking reason too. He wanted to take care of his mom. I still want to take care of my mom, but I've never been granted legitimacy by this culture fucking ever unless I worked dead-end jobs for them. I'm tired of the fucking serfdom. I'm tired of the fucking judgment. The stone that the builder refused shall be the head cornerstone. I hope I'm interpreting that right, but I think I am. And all this other shit. You want to pariah cat us? I should have named I thought about it for many years. For like 3 years, I thought, if I'm ever a streamer, I'm going to call myself what I named my book, which was Pariah Cat. You know? And I'm going to, and I was like, no, I'm just going to be what I've always been as a gamer, which is Skycat, an amalgamation of my real life personality and my online personality. One's a really, really like a positive but crazy druggy asshole in real life. The other one is this cute cat girl who always helps everybody who ever asks, always trains anybody who ever asks them for training, always answers every question that they can without stressing myself out too much. Always tries to provide assistance to every other gamer on the fucking planet. I made many other people rich just by being on the auction house. I definitely have built and destroyed guilds. I've built and destroyed careers. I've built and destroyed clans. I've done a lot of things here. You know what I'm saying? But was I ever given any sort of acknowledgement from even my own closest family? Much less the fucking community at large? No. So then I finally find my community at the age of 40 because I couldn't stand gamers up to them. I just didn't think any of them had their eyes open to it. And finally I start hearing people talk about the one bedroom dream. Listen to it.
Well, that's my plan is the doomer mentality, which is kind of frequent now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Where I think the moment I'm done content creating, I have no way to get any more income. So I try to be very careful with that. So my plan is make as much money as I possibly can, and whenever I fall off,
that's what I want to do.
I can't do it anymore. I'm going to sell everything that I own, get like a bachelor and a computer and a bed, and then just live in that little cave until I'm dead.
Yep, and I've never heard somebody say it so succinctly or verbatim or so quickly. It's a dream he's thought about for 10 years, and it's a dream I've thought about too. I honestly dream of a lower class, one bedroom, living in a flat, like college kid life of maybe $7,000 to $25,000 a year. That to me is the McMansion, the house in the hills, the acceptance, all that stuff. I dream of legitimacy to the tune of half a living wage, even half a living wage. And I won't see it, not in my lifetime, I don't think. They're dead set against that, the way they're dead set against most races and shit. WASPs will not entertain video gamers becoming powerful, which is kind of crazy because there's 3 strong forces in this world. How many men on the planet? 8 billion, 3.95 of which were women, 4 billion were men. How many gamers on the planet, right? And I hope this goes somewhere eventually. Yeah, it's 3.09 billion. I look at this almost every day sometimes, and I think about how the 3rd strongest constituency on the fucking planet can't even pay $700 a month rent because everything that we do was illegitimized, but yet we buy all their games, we buy all their movies, we buy all their albums, we vote for them, we pay their taxes, we We venerate them. We care about our country. We care about what happens. We keep informed. We protect our community, sometimes violently if necessary. We do whatever the fuck is necessary to love our fellow man as gamers, I would say. It's something I would say is universally probably pretty true about gamers. I don't care if you're the worst fucking troll in the world. You've still got a crew that you passionately love and take care of. I don't care who you are. You could be a loser incel and you're alone. You still got a best friend, I guarantee, that you would probably do a lot of things for. I don't care what it is. So, you know, and so why the third strongest constituency on the planet has zero legitimacy in the public's eye is one of the greatest fuck-ups in mankind's human race. And it might even destroy the human race, because if you haven't been tracking what's happening with oh god, I can't remember the word, but the herbivore other word for herbivore, it's a Japanese term. It's I can't remember it. It's like a fruitarian, or like, but there's another word for this in Japan. Other word for herbivore in Japan, right? Japanese word, right? Is Soshuko Danshi. It's an herbivorous grass-eating male that doesn't chase anything at all. Particularly because we were never granted legitimacy by even our parents, much less fucking the community at large. Only a punker would speak out like this, but I mean, it is one of the greater injustices. It sucks, and it'll take killing off half the human race to herbivore culture before they understand how really bad of a fuck up this was to illegitimize the gamer race. How really bad of a fuck up this was for Japan, America, to illegitimize people like me. How really bad it was. It alienated half the human race. Half of us are like drug addict, half homeless, one check from failure, still fucking fat and unhealthy, fat American boomer. I'm just saying, man, like, we don't look like Italians in the 40s and shit. We look like the guy on the KFC cover, you know? We look like Trump. So, you know, I want to look like James Charles, but I look like Trump, and I have no illusions about this. So, whatever. And you want to hate on James Charles, I'm sure there's a reason that you are, or whatever the fuck. But I look at this human being, and I don't see somebody who could possibly ever really, truly harm anybody. Maybe rape at the worst, I guess. I don't know what James Charles was supposed to have been guilty of, and I know he's been canceled, but I'm glad to see that he's back. But I don't know why somebody would have 24 million subscribers and still get canceled. It's kind of insane. He had to have basically raped somebody, and I hope that's not what happened. I guess I'll look into that next after this video ends, but let's finish this whole like 2-hour bit that I did about legitimacy in the gaming community. And also, I've got to also upload my next video. Yeah, SD needs to finish processing. Cool. So then we're gonna load another one. HD's got 5 hours to go. We're gonna upload this one. Select files. We're going back to the E drive, to the OBS recorded vids, and we're going to put another like video on. And so this one that was from 12 is up, but the 2 a.m. one's got to go. Right? Yep, there we go. And we'll get a thumbnail and a title on this B. You know, and we'll fire it off, and you begin to see what being a content provider actually is. It's providing daily fucking work, you know, so that you can do your actual job, which is like cosplay or video gaming or, you know, whatever your real passion is. So there we are. Thank you to Genshin for the beautiful music in this run. I'm loving that I can pause this MMORPG for however long I want. That's really important to me. And so, yep, and just double checking the quality of the stream and all this stuff, and looking at titles and all this. Yeah, looking good. Okay, let's churn it out. Part 2 of however many part series, at least 3 parts, because the other one's almost done. So, okay, and I don't want to do any of this shit because it makes me look like everybody the fuck else, and I'm not trying to look like everybody else, including if it makes it look ghetto like all of my music videos. If I have to look ghetto to sell, I'll be ghetto to sell. I don't care. What I don't want to do is look like them. I will never have somebody step to me and say that I built a career that looked like theirs. I will never. I'm like Mickey Blue Eyes. I want to do it my way, and my way is not fucking title cards or bullshit clickbait titles or fucking chat being streamed or catering to 15-year-olds. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Sorry about that. Not here for you guys. I know it's selfish, but I don't know why I would be. I'm 40 years old. You guys have plenty of far more talented kids your age who can entertain you much better. That was not the constituency I was ever trying to reach. And I'm sure I will too. I'll reach them. I hope I do. But I mean, like, yeah. So on that note, we'll finish this. I am finishing this like long hour-long thing. I just haven't talked in a while. And I want you guys to know that I will still provide content. I'm just under doctor's orders not to talk like this all day. So it'll be a while before I talk again. So there we go. Unless something else interesting like this happens.
It's my plan.
I mean, do you have a job?
A bachelor. I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna sell everything that I own. Get like a bachelor and a computer and a bed, and then just live in that little cave until I'm dead. That's my plan.
I mean, do you have a job?
No.
I did.
Okay.
I've never been employed. Well, I once, but
That's exciting.
I wasn't employed.
I actually think that's a really good job. Like I feel like people who like mow lawns, clean gutters.
It is now. I had to pay some fucker $50.
Yep.
It's 50 fucking hours. I used to mow lawns for $10.
I did it for 20 to 30, but everyone has a big one in Kansas.
Yeah, I didn't have any lawns in Kansas.
That was the only job I could get.
I got a quarter for
Oh, I'm muting.
the yard I would
Oh my
mow.
God.
I remember that. I would get a quarter if I mowed the front right side, the left side, and then both back sides. So I get $1 whole. And then if I would rip out tree stumps or bush stumps, I would get $5. But that shit was hard.
Yeah, it was.
Those were those were not the days.
Yeah, those were definitely not the days.
Although I do remember when sodas cost a quarter. You remember that?
I remember whenever I could get the bottled soda at school for $1. That's all I remember.
You never had like the machines where they didn't have Mountain Dew, they had Mountain Thunder.
No.
Really?
Well, maybe. I don't
Mountain
remember
Thunder.
Can we Google that? Mountain Thunder? Can we?
No, I think I know what you're talking about.
It was like off-brand soda machine.
It's like the ghetto stuff.
Yeah, and you could pay
Yeah.
a quarter, and I get a Mountain Thunder.
It's like
And-
Dr. B.
Yeah. I don't think. There it is.
Mountain Lightning.
Mountain
Oh my God,
Lightning.
that looks like electric piss water.
It was so good.
Yeah, there's Dr. Thunder.
You know what's crazy? I actually
Yep.
think that it tasted better because it was more diluted Mountain Dew. It's like going to like a McDonald's, right, and getting a Sprite. It just tastes better than the actual Sprite because it's a
But
little bit more diluted.
No. What McDonald's are you going to? Bro, the McDonald's I go to, the Sprite is like battery acid. That shit burns your mouth.
Oh wait, no shit, you're right. It's the Coke that's diluted.
It's the Coke.
Sprite that's the
Yeah,
battery
well,
acid,
no,
that's
the
right.
thing
The
is,
Sprite
okay,
is
so
strong as fuck.
What the fuck does that even mean?
why y'all drink Sprite? Like, what is this? Like,
Am I wrong?
it's so weird. Like, it's the same thing I said with diet soda. Why the fuck are you gonna drink a diet soda? Just drink water. Like, what do you mean? Is Sprite? Like, just get a Coke like a normal person. What are you talking about drinking a Sprite for?
Hey,
Sometimes Sprite just hits right.
I'm about to piss you off, Asman.
What?
I'll say it. I don't like saying it, but I'm gonna do it. I only drink zero sugar soda, and you know what?
Why?
It tastes better than the real thing,
No, it doesn't.
dude. Hey,
No, it does not.
yes, it fucking
You can
does.
tell yourself that all you want, but it's not going to change the reality.
Dude, zero sugar Dr. Pepper.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, and it's guilt-free, baby.
What do you mean guilt? Why would you feel guilty for drinking
Because
Dr.
180 calories for a soda, that is crazy. Wake told me, don't drink calories. And I'm like, okay, Wake, whatever you say,
I
man.
don't like any soda anymore.
Yep.
What the hell is wrong with y'all? What happened?
Dude, zero,
I used to only drink soda.
What happened?
zero sugar cherry Coke, zero sugar Dr. Pepper, zero sugar. It's like, it's an off-brand Mountain Dew. It's a special flavor. But it tastes like, it's like lemonade mixed with Mountain Dew. It's crazy. I forget what it's called. But yeah, zero sugar, that's the best shit. Diet is gross.
Yeah.
Zero sugar, that shit is busted.
Wait, you said you've had Fanta, right? Have you had the Fanta variations? Like the red Fanta or the blue Fanta? I used to only drink blue Fanta.
Not really.
Here.
Why'd you stop drinking soda?
Because it made me sick.
Why do you say that like you're a recovering alcoholic?
Because I only drank blue Fanta for a year. I'm not kidding.
I've been clean for 5 years.
I'm not kidding. I only drank the berry blue Fanta. And it was delicious.
Oh, I get
I
that.
stopped because I had it so much that I would just get nauseous every time I drank it again.
That's how you know that you're gaming. That's how you know how you're locked in.
And that was like peak league for me.
Yep, dude, peak league for everybody. And I'm
Yeah, there it is.
oh my.
Is that it? Does it make you
That's
sick
it.
to look at it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not as bad as it used to.
You have PTSD from Phantom, bro. That's rough.
It was good though.
I remember I drank, I went to like one of these, it's like, you know how they have like thrift stores? Like, we used to be so ghetto that we go to the thrift store for food. And
Whoa,
it used to be like, yeah, like Big Lots, stuff like that, where they would sell, and like they didn't have refrigerators there. It was like all this other normal kind of food, and they had a Jolly Rancher blue soda. And I saw it, and I was like, Mom, can we get this? It's $1. She's like, yep. And I remember I drank it, and I didn't drink it. I took it home, and like I saw they had a bunch of them. Oh my God. And then so I remember I was like 5 a.m. I was on like a Skype call with like some girl or
I
something.
remember those days.
Yeah, and so then I remember I'm like, man, I'm thirsty. What am I gonna drink? And then I remember that I had this soda, and I was like, oh my God, I am the smartest person in the entire world for having this drink. And so I go up and I drink the soda, and I'm drinking it thinking that it is the greatest thing that I've ever had in my entire life. And I'm just loving it, and it's just getting so much better, and I'm just so happy. I'm talking to this girl, and like I'm drinking this fucking blue Jolly Rancher soda, and then just all of a sudden, the headache comes on, and I'm like, I think I've got to go. The sun's coming up, right? Because it's like 7 in the morning this time, and like I'm like, yeah, I gotta go, and like then my stomach started getting sick. And then I was just like dying. I was just breaking down. And I remember the only thing that I could manage to do is crawl out of my chair and curl up around one of the little sides of my desk, and I just fell asleep there at 6 in the morning, almost dead from this fucking soda. And then I took it downstairs the next day, and my mom was doing dishes, and she's like, well, how was it? And for a second, I thought to myself, maybe it'll be better this time, right? And I almost drank that shit again. And I remember pouring it out and feeling exactly like, remember when, who was it? I think it might have been Boromir gave away the One Ring, and he struggled so much to do it in Lord of the Rings. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt.
Dude, I had the same experience, but it was my dad. And we were watching a wrestling pay-per-view. I think it was like Extreme Rules, like 2013. We all ordered Papa John's. We're all ordering pizza. And my dad hasn't had sugar in a while.
Yeah.
So I offer him a cookie, right? And I give him a cookie, and then everything's fine. 15 minutes later, he just stops talking to me, and he only whispers. And he says, buddy, I think I'm dying. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
Dad, what are you talking about? He's like,
Yeah.
there's something in that cookie.
Yeah.
That cookie did something to me. And I'm like, okay. But it was my dad's first experience with a panic attack.
Oh my
Because of the
God.
sugar in the cookie. But
Holy
dude,
shit.
it was so funny because I still shit on him like 20 years later. Like, are you sure you want that? You sure you want that cookie, Dad?
Did you handle this one?
Yeah. Like, that cookie was strong. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what?
Powerful.
Yeah, I did that stuff all the time. Like, that was one of my favorite things to do, is drink soda. Like, I mean, even now, like, I just drink that stuff all the time. I can't imagine it making you sick. That's crazy.
I only drink water and tea now, I think.
Nuts.
You know what we should do? Let's just see how much soda you can drink until it makes you feel bad.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really like drinking a lot. Like, I only eat maybe 1 or 2 meals a day. Like, there's never a day where I eat 3 meals.
Do you only drink soda? Do you drink water?
Well, soda's in water.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
that's true.
no.
I mean, guys are there.
So no.
At the end of the day, I will take, like, I will drink a glass of water whenever I'm going to go to bed. And that's it. That's the only thing I've ever done. Like one time, like 7 years ago, I felt like I had like a pain in my kidney. And
Oh,
so I
no.
drank a bottle of water and it went away.
Saved.
Damn,
And that was it.
that's actually sick.
Wait, have
Yeah.
you ever had a kidney stone?
No.
Dude, when I was in high school, I dated someone who got a kidney stone at 16
That's disgusting.
because they only drank carbonated lemonade.
What a freak.
Man.
Oh, speaking of freaks, y'all see the Streamer Award nominations?
Yeah.
What do you think?
You guys want to vote on them?
Yes.
Okay.
I would love to. Yo, can we get those pulled up?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down to vote on them.
We can just. How about we just do? This is who we want to win and why. Real quick. We don't have to do too much.
There's some of them that are going to be like, we just can't get through an episode without Tecto starting drama with other streamers.
You know what? I won't.
Yeah.
I will not. I refuse.
Best MMO RPG streamer.
Like
Ice
Asmund.
Fan.
Let's see. So you have S-Fan, who does it, like, he's been streaming WoW a little bit. I mean, Bodhi, who's been streaming OSRS, Max, who's been streaming WoW, and then Baldy down at the bottom. Wow.
When was the last time Asmund went live?
I don't know. I forgot.
I actually can't
I
even
forgot
remember.
he stole my sub.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think that, I mean, like, Bodhi really sits in there and he does a lot. Like, I don't really have, like, a winner here, right? I mean, this is a category I'm in. I'm
All right.
biased,
Me and
right?
Tectone should vote then.
Yeah, you win.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're gonna win.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I honestly think that I hope that next time around they give some of the other guys, maybe in like Final Fantasy, people like Xeno and just like Scribe, Genji from WoW. Like, I hope more of them get listed.
Yeah, I was actually pissed that you weren't on this, Emmy.
Well, I'm not a Souls-like streamer.
Dude,
I don't know any of these people except, is it Miss Mika, the girl who
Yes.
beat the games with the dance pads and all that
Oh,
shit?
yeah, she'll win. Yeah.
I think that she will probably win. I think little Aggie. Doesn't he only do Sekiro? I haven't seen him play a lot of other games. I think that in terms of just like speed running, like big dick capabilities, absolutely distortion. I think Lobos is like a really good, well-rounded Souls-like streamer. Aggie, I have watched probably 10 or 20 of his Sekiro speedruns, but I do think in terms of like virality and just how much like new integral content, Miss Mika too.
Yeah.
Like, I could see her winning.
I actually avoid watching Souls-like streamers play the game because I don't want to find out how to easily beat something. So like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
any
I
of these
haven't been
streamers.
watching any Soul
Yeah.
streamers because I'm like, I don't want to like spoil.
Until I've beaten them all, I'm not gonna watch.
That's not true according to YouTube comments.
Alright.
Oh, yeah, true.
Dude, yeah, a lot of people think that I've already played, and I'm like
Oh.
pretending it's my first
Here's
time.
the thing. I've actually seen Ember's circus history. She's actually watching it all the time. There's no way she would know how to beat the shit out of it. Yeah, Miss Mika experiences virality. I don't really think these awards are like who actually is the best. It's just kind of like who's the most well-known. So I'm not voting for like who I think should get it unless they want me to, which is good. Right now, best art streamer, I'm going to. Oh, Meat Canyon's awesome. Yeah, here it is. I'm very close with two of the people on the list.
Meat Canyon did a video about what made me look ugly as fuck, and people use that picture from now on all the time about me
Yeah.
as an insult, but I think it's fucking funny. It's hilarious. I love it.
Dude, Meat Canyon is hilarious. I've only seen his YouTube videos though.
Okay.
But Rubber Ross is insane. The innovation that he's done for like the things he does, like Among Us, where you have to
Yeah.
draw. You can't speak. You have to draw who did it, what happened.
Right.
In your perspective, like he had like
Oh, that's
12 hours.
cool.
Yeah, he did another thing where like he made an entire role-playing Minecraft server where he like made all the animations on stream.
Oh
like,
my god.
Designed every block. He's incredible. And also, I mean, his old stuff with Game Grumps and Steam Trend is amazing. I love Rubber. He's one of my favorite human beings on the fucking planet. He's so awesome. And also,
Yeah,
Riku is
not at all.
Riku is an amazing VTuber. Makes some beautiful artwork like effortlessly, like in seconds. She can make like the cutest little mascots. She draws my eggs all the time. I love her so much. But Meat King, I'm also a huge fan of his YouTube content. But for me personally, I would do Ross just because him and I are just super close.
Canyon is feeding me the reacts, okay? You don't like it.
Yeah.
What about you, Amy?
Well, Meat Canyon's the one that I recommend. So I'd probably go for him.
Biggest strategy game streamer?
Box.
Decade Box.
Wait, they don't have Grubby on the list. Where's Grubby?
See?
Who's Grubby?
Grubby, Warcraft 3 guy.
Oh, never seen him.
He's so popular, yeah. I don't know any of these guys except Scar. I mean,
You don't know Box?
Soju's TFT, Box, like a bunch of stuff.
Dude, anything Box touches, it turns to gold.
okay.
He's just good at everything. It's like
Alright.
Greek. He's a genius.
Okay.
Yeah, I would pick Box.
Scar was also bad.
I would say Scar is doing strategies in game and out of game.
Yeah.
I would say Scar.
Box. He's just too locked in.
I don't know anything about that, so I can't really do that.
Yeah.
Best chess. Like,
Oh,
Best, I mean, like, isn't Hikaru, like, second in the world? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to decide there, right? I mean, Motes sisters are great. I love their videos where they go out and they're like, they'll find some jackass that's out there trying to, like, hustle people for chess, and then they'll beat him. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about chess. Like, I'm not really a big chess guy.
I'm actually a huge chess guy.
I don't know what all the pieces do.
Oh, yeah, I actually have a bot on chess.com. It's like the worst bot.
Oh, yeah?
It's called the Techno Bot. People just go bully it. It's so funny. Hikaru, I've never heard of Anna, unfortunately. I bet they're great, though. Yeah, Hikaru is, like, insane, like, very good player. Bota's live content is very good, like, the IRL, like you know, crushing hustlers.
Yeah, I met them. They're very nice.
Dude, Gotham Chess, his content is just another level. Like, dude, yeah, his YouTube shorts are amazing, but also his streams are so interactive. His play-by-play commentary, especially during the chess boxing event, like, his ability to entertain is just insane. I actually used to play Among Us with him, like, 3 years ago. And he's just really good at all things like mental, but just good dude, great content, and yeah, I love that dude's streams a lot. So I hope he wins, but all of them are great on the list.
Good enough. All right.
Not to be a politician, but all of those are
Best League of Legends. Wow, look who's not on there.
I was surprised I was even nominated last year, because at that point I like didn't play League anymore.
Yeah.
But last year's nominations didn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a Tyler 1 category,
Yeah, it
but
is.
like I love Dante. I think he's great. I follow him on Twitter, and he just says the most crazy, out of character things or out of pocket things all the time. I think he is amazing. It's like he's a young guy. He wakes up, all he wants to do is grind and work out. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
I like the, did I say his name wrong? House.
Yeah, that's probably
It's
it.
like, you know,
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
the Scion player.
Oh, that's badass. I love Silent.
He's sick.
That's sick. Yeah, like T1, obviously, he's like the guy.
I think he's gonna win.
But I'm kind of bummed because I watch a lot of Trick TV, and I feel like his stream is like fun. Like Trick is just, dude. Maybe it's because I'm a jungle man and he plays jungle.
I actually started streaming because of Trick. Not really, but he's the first streamer I ever watched.
Yeah, yeah.
I discovered Twitch.
Yeah, Trick motivated the fuck out of me too. It was an amazing stream. Yeah, T1 has that for sure.
Best battle royale.
That's got to be it. She's
Doc. It's Doc.
but
Yeah.
I don't put it on there.
Well, I mean, Nadia, find out where you live. I mean, like, there's no way. I mean, bro, you're not gonna get away from her.
Dude, her clip, she's actually so smart. Like the clip she does on TikTok, where it's like, you won't believe, like, oh yeah, you think I'm cheating? Then watch this. Yeah, let's see the haters talk after this one, bro.
be
It's
honest,
so funny.
Never watched one of her videos.
Really? Oh, okay. Yeah, and she streams on TikTok too, and then she did like, I think she did like a feet cam because people thought that she was like hitting like a pedal to turn on her cheek cams.
What?
That's why she did a feet cam. Oh, okay, that's clever.
Yeah, super clever.
Yeah.
It's like crazy how like some people are with girls that are like above average in games, because like
Oh, yeah.
I was never like pro level in League or anything, but I would get people coming in my chat and being like, oh, how come it's crazy how these girls, you know, they never have hand cams to prove that they're actually playing. And I was like, well, what fucking guy has a hand cam?
Yeah.
Hello?
That's right. That's
Actually,
right. True, brother.
the person who I actually forgot to shout out, dude, it's Timmy on the Battle Royale. He's actually the person who I would actually vote for. Timmy is insane.
Isn't he the guy that grinded Apex Predator
Yep.
in one day?
Yep.
Or in one stream?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he is so good at entertaining. His subathon was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he would like hit these he does this thing that I love. He's playing. He's locked in. He hits like a snipe like halfway across the map. He just hard stares at the camera for a second, then goes back and snipes again, looks at that. Bro, it's so badass. He's so good. It's insane. It actually pisses me off when people are that good at the games they play.
I feel like this isn't even fair. How are you gonna put T-Pain on the list?
Oh yeah, T-Pain wins.
Yeah, how are you gonna? I mean, like, who's gonna go down this and not click on T-Pain? I mean, come on. Best FPS streamer.
Wait, Timmy's not on there? What?
Well, I guess it's because he's already in a category.
Okay.
I would say, I mean, I think that, Scump is the GOAT for, like, obviously COD. I think ACU does a lot of Valorant. I could be wrong about that. I think so. I would say best FPS streamer would be Summit, because Summit plays pretty much every single FPS game. He goes through all of them, and he's been doing it for 10 years. I think Summit best.
I would pick Summit too because he's the only one that I know. Okay. Yeah, plus the time where he punched the monitor was hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh, let's go. My boy.
We gotta go with
My
Simply.
motherfucking
Simply.
boy, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simply.
Dude, I wouldn't even say he's the best speedrun streamer. I would say he's one of the best streamers overall.
Okay.
I love Simply Stream so much. It is the funniest. He's one of those streamers where like he's just as good as his chat is. Like I mean, you know about stem heading, which dude, if you haven't gone to Simply's chat, go check it out. And he also took some emotes from me. There's this emote called Lamau, which is the wise tree. You ever seen the wise tree? Oh, like, can you pull up wise tree emote? there's this edit of the wise tree, which is a huge meme. This thing. Have you ever seen that, Esmond? Have you ever seen that thing? Or no?
No.
No, wait, can you look up Lamau wise tree? It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But it caught fire in his chat, so he made this emote called The Woods. But yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Isn't that a good-ass emote?
That's decent. Yeah, that's all right.
But yeah, so
when would you use this? Whenever someone's high?
Yeah. And Lamau, it's used whenever Simply fake laughs a lot. And he goes, Simply laughs, he goes, oh man. And whenever he does that, the chat spams the
I can see that. Yeah, okay.
And then he says, we're really in the woods now, bro. I love Simply Stream so much, bro. He's so funny.
Hidden Gem Award. What is this?
Dude too.
Streamers with
less than 100 viewers. I mean, I don't know him.
But I'll be on that next year. This is going to be sick.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them.
Best IRL streamer.
Extra Emily.
Yeah, extra Emily.
Yeah, we're going to have to vote for her.
Yeah, I'm not biased, but she
Yeah,
laughs.
no, not at all. Best roleplay streamer. I don't do roleplay.
I don't do RP either.
Phantom Fooly. Yeah, I don't watch like GTA RP.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think my problem with RP right now is that whenever I do RP, people think that I'm not RPing.
Yeah.
And they think that I'm like being dead ass.
Okay.
So like the other day for Valentine's Day, I'm not sure if y'all saw the stream or not. Like I did a whole RP stream.
Yeah.
Where I had one of my buddies, and they were carrying the camera, and they were role playing his chat, and I was role playing as a abusive boyfriend, which is RP that I've done a lot because I did that for my play as well. I did this play called Summertime by Charles O'May. And I role played as a gay father who was abusive towards his wife and also was sexually attracted to, well, his family.
Okay, cool.
I end, isn't that so cool?
Yeah,
I end the
a lot of content.
Yeah, I end the play by killing myself.
Okay.
It was sick. But I did a whole RP stream to chat as a abusive boyfriend, and nobody thought it was RP because I do it too deadpan. And so, like, for RPing, usually be like, oh, look at this. Wouldn't this just be wacky if we did that? But, like, I love realism. Like, I love it. But it's like, I find that if you do something so absurd that's so off character, people should be able to know it's not RP. But then you realize that nobody fucking knows who you are.
I actually disagree. I like it whenever they don't know if it's real.
Really?
Look at Nikado Avocado. Y'all know who that is?
I know
Yeah,
him very
you know
well.
who that is.
I've seen his OnlyFans.
Yep, that guy is a legend.
No, I don't want to.
Bro.
What the fuck?
Is a legend and a hero and a genius and an artist.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, you never know what's real. He can say that everything is fake, but you don't know if he's faking it. And it's like there's this one video of him with like the Joker theme playing. And it's like it was so fucking bad, man. And it's him talking about how like he's above everybody else and how he's smarter than everybody and he's playing everybody like fools and he's up in this like fucking New York penthouse and everybody else is stupid and he's like 500 pounds now or something like that. I mean, the best part about it is like this guy is like he's fully committed to the act and it's become so incredible that you don't know if it's real or if it's fake and it doesn't matter anymore.
No, I used to be in a Discord server where we would just talk about Nikado Avocado.
He's so good.
It is insane because I started off as a hate watcher. I'll admit it. But then the more I watched it, I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
this guy is a genius.
Exactly.
And his new podcast, I think it's called Garbage Fire Podcast.
I bet so.
It's good as shit. But like, yeah, my buddy started linking me some of these weird ass images, and this dude is going so far for what could either be art.
Yeah.
Right. It's gotta be a character.
No,
right?
I don't know. I think that it's probably half and half.
Yeah, it's probably a mix.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the
I
spectrum.
mean, nobody's like
somewhere
that.
on the spectrum. Yeah.
Same. Like it's. I don't know. He's very interesting, but yeah,
I think he's great. I can't wait to see what he does next.
Get him on the podcast then.
Oh yeah, definitely. That'd be great. Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, best Valorant streamer. I think Tarek. I mean, he's like one of the most popular competitive players. He streams it constantly. I mean,
Kaide's always live grinding too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she grinded up really high. Like I think she started like silver or gold or something.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna pick Shazam because his name's cool.
It's just yeah. I don't know. I feel like I would probably go with Tarek, but I don't really know. Like I know Quarter Jade a bit. I don't know the
Yeah, I
other
watch
two
her
at all.
occasionally.
Let's see. What's the next one? Best Minecraft streamer. Oh wow. Why isn't Schlatt on the list? Oh man. I don't know. I mean, I feel like right now, like, I mean, Smallland does so much more content on YouTube and like other games too. I feel like Tubbo kind of plays a lot of other games too. Like,
I saw him playing Minecraft the other day.
yeah, I would say like Tubbo would probably be the closest to being a Minecraft streamer, but a lot of these guys have diversified past that, which is a good thing for them.
Because he has a cute accent.
He's a good guy.
That's my opinion.
Rising Star, who's this? Let's see, up and coming streamer, grown a lot past year. I don't really know any of these people.
Same.
Yeah, so I can't really say.
Stream game of the year, Elden Ring.
Yeah, I think that I think Valorant is probably a better game to stream, and so can Minecraft. But Minecraft can be too. But I like my favorite is Elden Ring. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Elden Ring is the best stream game, and the reason why is because everybody's playthrough is always so different, and it's like a mini event. It's almost like it's like this whole special thing where like, oh, my streamer is finally playing Elden Ring, and there's not really other games like this. Like, oh, okay, the streamer's playing Valorant. Yeah, that makes sense. But like, when somebody's locked in, they're playing Elden Ring. It is so nice just to sit there and just shit on your streamer until they beat that fucking game. It is so funny. Like one of the best experiences ever. And like each one, you're like, oh, I wonder, like they're fighting a boss. They beat Malekith, and you're like, I wonder how they'll handle Millennia. Like, dude, I love it.
There was one time I was watching E-Rob play Bloodborne, and he had E-Rob, you know Lawrence, right?
Lawrence?
How many attempts did it take you to kill Lawrence?
Lawrence, which one is that? Is it the final boss?
The red, the fiery cleric beast. The fiery guy, he falls on the ground, and then he's like lava everywhere, and he's like swinging at you. He's in the church.
Once.
Yeah, so you one-tapped him, right? Yeah. And so anyway, E-Rob didn't. And so anyway, he was getting in an argument or something like that with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend had kicked him out of the house. So he was at his mother's house, streaming himself, sitting in front of her flat screen TV, playing this game because he had promised his chat that he would finish it, and he was just getting clapped by this boss over and over and over. It was one of the best streams I had ever seen.
Is it like supposed to be an easy boss?
No, it's a hard boss.
Okay.
Is it really?
I mean, yeah, he's one of the harder ones.
Oh.
Well, it's because of the roll catch attack he does. But that's the only thing that like really makes him that hard. But anyway, yeah, it was so fucking funny. I remember that. I don't know what you said that reminded me of that. Oh yeah, that being a good stream game. Yeah. I personally think games like that are better than Elden Ring, but I can see why people like it.
I love it.
It's content organization. Probably offline TV. I mean, let's be honest. You know, between them and Vishojo, I mean, come on.
I'm gonna just do a take real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the reason why I'm just be real. I think OTK is the best content org. Okay. I'm not gonna say because you're biased because you're part of it. Here's just my opinion. Okay. I just like OTK because we do shit with each other, and I think we do shit together the most.
I think so too.
That's all I'd pick because I just haven't seen the other orgs actually do shit that much besides offline TV.
Yeah, we do collabs, events, shows.
And like I love it. It's like it feels very real, and I enjoy that a lot.
I get that. All right, that sounds fair.
Yeah, 100 days.
Yeah, right. It's philanthropic stream event. Oh man, like I don't know. I mean, like it's so hard to say. I mean, yeah, I actually don't know about this one.
I would pick the 500-mile cycle.
Yeah, that's the only one that I really want.
Yeah, C-Dog's a homie. He's a very good dude. All of his shit's been great. Best VTuber. This is hard.
Oh fuck.
Because I love all four of those people.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you pronounce the second one?
Shoto.
Shoto. He's him, right?
Yeah, he's the guild leader.
He's the only one that I haven't watched.
Really, yeah. Vebe is incredible. Like always, so funny. Shoto is also, I mean, he's been rising at the same like meteoric rate as Shy Lily. Shy Lily's also adorable. Content's always good, super funny. Iron Mouse is like, you know, I mean, she's probably one of the 4 VTubers that you think of whenever you hear the word VTuber. Yep. She's been on there for so long. Her journey for why she's a VTuber is also beautiful. Her singing voice is incredible. But for me personally, if I had to pick one, okay, I would pick Shy Lily, just because she's independent, and I find that to be a lot harder. when you have people who have your back. So she's doing a lot of shit by herself, and I just find that very admirable. But they're all amazing.
I would get that. Yeah, I mean, like you watch way more of them than I do, so I would just defer to you.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Of all those, I watched Shiloh the most.
Yeah. Plus, Shiloh's boobs are really huge, which is sick.
That is really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's badass.
It's great. Best streamed event. I mean, Camp Canute was great. I honestly think Bloodluke's chess boxing event was like really great too. I thought that was just so well put together. It was so well produced. Everything
What's
like
that?
that.
Point Crow party.
I don't know. I didn't.
Sure.
I didn't watch that one.
I would pick Camp Canute because that changed my life.
Yeah.
That's just for me personally.
I could see that. I mean, for sure. I mean, like it's so hard to compare, right? Because like Camp Canute was like a whole month thing, and like the chess boxing thing was a day, so it's hard really to compare.
Just for personal reasons, I mean, I lost, in total probably around 90 pounds for preparing for Camp Canute and doing Camp Canute. So without that, I mean, I would be in a much worse spot, and I'd probably still be wearing my beanie. But Camp Canute changed my life for the better, and I remember that very fondly.
There you go. Best just chatting streamer. I mean, like it's obviously Hassan. I mean, Hassan is like he's grinding every single day, pretty much. He streams all the time. He talks about tons of different stuff. Like I would say Hassan or your Rage, like one of the two.
I'm biased.
Okay.
I would pick Mouse.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't see her as a just chatting streamer.
Yeah.
The same way, so like that's why like I would go with Hassan, but like it's not that I would just vote for her for another category.
Yeah, I'm super,
I see
super,
Mouse
super
as
biased.
a variety streamer.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just biased as fuck. I can't look past it.
Yeah, just chatting. 100%.
Oh,
Oh,
XQC.
that category, variety.
Yeah, XQC wins 100%.
Yeah.
League of Their Own.
I would put.
I mean, I have to vote for Nick, but like besides Nick, I would say Ludwig. I think Ludwig has been working so hard this year. He's been working so hard. He's been doing so many different crazy things, and I think he's one of the main people that you can see who's actually left the platform and actually grown substantially off of it. He puts in so much work for his events. He is just, I think he's great.
No, I would go on record saying fuck Nick. I'm going Ludwig. You know what? I love shit talking Nick. Every time I do it, it gets clipped and it's sent to him, and then he reacts to it in the morning. I love it, dude. Love you, Nick. Don't clip that part though.
I would probably say Timmy too. I think he's had probably the most like viral gaming event, but like either Timmy or Tarek, I'd say.
Yeah, Timmy, easy. Streamer of the year. That's shit.
I would say Kai, without a question.
Really over X?
Yeah, because it's not that like it's not XQC is the worst streamer. It's just that Kai has innovated and done so many different things on his stream. Like, XQC puts in more hours and he's more consistent. He plays more games. He has more variety. But Kai, I think Kai goes that extra mile to do absolutely crazy shit on stream for viewers every single day. Like he's constantly trying to raise the bar, probably sometimes too much, but that's the fun part.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I would say Kai, and I mean XQC too. I feel like any of these guys would deserve it.
Yeah,
That's like one of the only things is like Hassan has done so much with like adding like political commentary on the Twitch. He's pretty much completely created his own genre of content, and he's just kind of stuck in his own lane and done that the whole time. He's grown so much in doing so, and he's done it unapologetically. I think Germa's done the Germa Dollhouse, and then I think there was that other thing. Something he did recently. I'm trying to remember what it was. It might have
Like
been.
the German baseball was sick.
There was another one besides that.
Was it like his Christmas thing?
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
the guy who like took over his channel, but
Yes,
like,
yes.
planned or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. And like, yeah, I would say Germa. I mean, like XQC obviously has been farming and like streaming forever, right? And I would say like if he got it or Kai got it, I think it's a toss up. Basically depends on who you prefer. I just think that Kai has been trying to innovate and do so many new crazy things, and I always like it whenever people do crazy new shit.
Yeah, I would say any of them deserve it for sure. I made a comment about two of them the other day just to bait a couple clicks just because I was bored. And plus my mouth was on fire. That was hilarious. Me personally, if I pick streamer of the year, I would pick Kai or X. I'm just not sure which.
Yeah.
Even though Germa is my favorite of those four because I love his content so much. But like it just Kai and X have just done so.
Well, it's so weird because like okay, if you look at streamer of the year, right? I think gameplay streamer of the year, XQC wins, and it's not even a question.
Yeah.
It's not even a question. I think that for just chatting like content, I think Kai wins. And
Yeah,
it's
I
not
agree.
even a question.
Yeah.
So So it just depends on like what you value more.
For
like if you
German, it's just weird shit.
For Germa, it is like
You know what I mean?
really, really high quality, well done produced content.
Yep.
For Hassan, it's very consistent political commentary, social commentary. So like this is very much a, you know, if you love gaming, you're probably gonna pick XQC. If you love just chatting content, you're part of like that YouTube community, you're gonna pick Kai. If you like Ludwig and like his brand of content, you're gonna pick Germa. And if you like, you know, Hassan and political stuff, you're gonna pick Hassan.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks.
That would be what I would go with. And that's all of them, right?
Yep, that's it.
That's it. Okay, good.
And I think that's the end of the episode too.
Yep.
Close. I'll be real. I could talk for 3 hours.
Really?
This was.
It's always next week, and we're gonna have our first guest next week.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I asked Soda. He
Okay.
said he was down.
Let's do it. If he cancels now, that would be weird.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
We put him on the spot.
I won't let him cancel.
Okay,
Next
good.
week we'll be filming with Soda.
Oh boy.
And we're doing it.
I'm
Really?
excited.
We're doing a 3-hour episode.
Oh shit.
Remember when we did that with Asmon and we didn't tell him? That never got
Yeah.
released.
I think it was longer than 3 hours.
It was. It was. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll just keep talking about stuff, and that's totally fine, and I'll just go until I stop. You
Yeah.
know, that's it.
Well, if you're still here at this point of the video, please like, comment, subscribe. It really
Yeah.
helps out. And hit the bell for all notifications if you want to see the next episode.
True.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcast.
Mhm.
That would be amazing. It would help a ton. Please just take a couple seconds. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, and if you could leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're on those. So
Oh, wait,
if
you
you
want
want to listen to it on your phone
you
or
want me to
whatever,
read one?
you can do that.
I actually have I printed it out of a review on Apple Podcast.
Okay.
And we're going to read one every episode, surely. From Joseph Russell. 5 stars. I'll tell you this. This was a podcast. And I absolutely loved how in-depth each talking point was so captivating. Like a steak getting cooked overtime and at the end, it being